Welcome back to the Swinburne Professional Staff Network podcast, the podcast professionals with Kristy Ash, made by professional staff for all Swinburne staff. Hi, I'm Kristy, and as always, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land we are recording on. For me, it's the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and for Ash, who's recording on Boonwurrung country. And we pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Thank you. Well, I have to say, it's great to be back for another episode of the SPSN Podcast Professionals, and I feel like we have been in a bit of a time warp in 2022. It's just flown by so fast. We've had a bunch of items to talk about tonight, but before we kick this baby off, please let me introduce my partner in pod, the one and only, the amazing human being, the best boss ever, Ash Carden.
Kristy, it's amazing to see you. I did not fully read that intro. That is possibly the best introduction I've ever received. It is amazing to be back in the recording studio. It has been a lot more than a minute. This year has been quite massive. I'm still in denial that it is November as we're recording this.
I know, right?
Cannot fathom it, and I never can. And I don't think any of us can. So one more. This is our last episode, I think, is it, Kristy?
Yeah, we might even be able to sneak in a Christmas one.
I was about to say a Christmas special. Yeah, how exciting.
And get Nicola Howard on board. We thought we might do that. We'll just see if we've got time before the end of the year. But you're right. This year has just flown by, and I'm totally sounding like mum at the minute. You know, I believe it's November already, but it is really, really good to see you too.
It is. So, and tonight we are also talking to Professor Keryn Chalmers. She is Dean of the School of Business Law and Entrepreneurship here at Swinburne. So that will be very exciting. Let's catch up a little bit before we do.
Yeah.
How have you been with approximately 75 million, and I stand by that number, end of year events?
I know, it's gone absolutely crazy. This year has flown by. I have worked on some really massive events this year, which has just been unreal. I've got to work across a whole range of different research departments in Sobel, and I've just worked on another big 6-day event, which went off fantastically, and for the CXI research group. And now in my new role, yes, drum roll, I'm working 3 days a week with CSI, so the Centre for Social Impact at Swinburne, and we have a 20-year anniversary event that I'm working on for the end of November. So plus running some masterclasses. So it's been crazy, Ash. So yeah, it's been a great year though. I've actually really kind of stretched my wings this year, so it's been good. How about you? How have you been, boss lady?
I don't think I ever get used to that, really.
I love it.
Flat out like a lizard drinking, because apparently that's the sort of sayings that I'm using now. It's so always Aussie. Flat out. It's so very Aussie. I went very into the backlog of Aussie sayings there because it's been a lot, and it's been a lot for everyone this year. Yeah. The challenges keep on coming, and we keep on working through them. And looking forward to some Christmas. I'm looking forward to the summer sun. I love summer. Anyone who has had the pleasure or mispleasure of being in meetings with me lately has heard me complain ad nauseum about all this rain, and that I just cannot wait to get into summer.
Yeah, well, you are now starting to sound like my mum, because she talks about the weather a lot. But okay, Ash. So that's enough jibber jabber from us. Let's crack on with the pod. And how about you introduce our VIP guest to the microphone?
I would love to introduce the wonderful. I cannot do an introduction that rolls quite as nicely off the tongue as yours, and this, for our listeners, is a bit of an after dark, at a 7:30 podcast. So featuring my son, Mason.
Hi, Mason.
But our VIP guest is Professor Keryn Chalmers. Hello and welcome, Keryn.
Hi, Keryn.
Hi, Ash, and hi, Kristy. It's great to be here. I'm absolutely delighted that I'm getting to speak to the partners in pod. What a fantastic name that you two have, and congratulations on this series. I listened to the first series as well, and it just brings joy to so many people, and particularly thinking that it all started in COVID when we were all trying to connect and stay in touch, and you just have great fun, great energy, and some of the conversations are not only informative, hilarious, joyful, and so it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, it's awesome. We are just absolutely thrilled that you're able to join us tonight on the pod. And yeah, everyone, it is an after hours pod. So normally we run them in the daytime, but tonight we're doing it after hours. And I've got a drink of water. Have you guys got a cup of tea or a glass of wine? Or
I wanted to do a glass of wine, but then I forgot to get the wine. So I have Coke Zero.
Fantastic.
And I've already had my glass of red wine, which may go well, or maybe it won't go so well.
I think it makes for a nice, free-flowing podcast. So the first question we have, and keeping the tally for your mum, Kristy, I believe that is my third or fourth.
Thank you. Kind regards. I'll be keeping a check.
Very good. We start with easy questions first, I promise. If you can tell us about your incredibly important, incredibly busy role here at Swinburne.
Thanks, Ash. Look, I don't think my role is any more important than anyone else's at Swinburne. One Swinburne, we all have a role to do, and they're all important. But yes, it's certainly busy, and I just listened to Kristy, you talking about all you've been up to, and Ash, I know all the things that you're trying to manage across multiple schools. But in my role, I'm Dean of a School of Business Law and Entrepreneurship. It's one of the 6 schools, academic schools within Swinburne University. So fundamentally, that gives me responsibility for the academic disciplines that cover off accounting, finance, economics, marketing, management, entrepreneurship and innovation, information systems, and also law. So as well as having 3 departments covering those disciplines, SOBL, as we fondly refer to it, also has 2 research centres, the Centre for Transformative Innovation and the Centre for Social Impact. So what that means is effectively there's around 170 sort of permanent staff in the school, and ultimately that responsibility for the academic programs and the research comes under my umbrella. But I work with a wonderful team and enjoy every minute of it.
Wow, it's a lot. It sounds so much, Keryn. Like when you spell it out like that, it sounds like a huge, huge role. And when you spell it out like that, it seems like there's so many aspects of your job. It must be hard to keep a track of it. Can you tell us, Keryn, how long have you been at Swinburne Uni?
I joined Swinburne in May 2016. So just a little bit over 6 years now, and that's gone really quickly. It sometimes feels longer and sometimes feels shorter, but we've certainly jam-packed a lot into those 6 years in terms of when I think about accreditations we've achieved, when I think about the restructures that have been undertaken. So it's quite, got different operations now than what it was when I joined in 2016.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change, hasn't there?
Yeah, well, change is inevitable.
That's
we
true.
We just have to get used to change. It's just part of life.
Yeah. And can you tell us, Keryn, what was your previous role before joining Swinburne? Where were you? For our listeners that may not know.
Yeah, Kristy, I was at the Monash Business School, Monash University. So I joined Monash in 2003 in what was then a Department of Accounting and Finance. And, during my time at Monash, I sort of was head of the Department of Accounting and Finance. And prior to joining Swinburne, my role at Monash Business School had been as Deputy Dean with portfolio responsibilities that spanned international external engagement and all of our accreditations and rankings.
Okay, yeah. That's also sounds like another really big, intense role. And your background is in accounting, isn't it? You are an accountant.
Yeah, that's right. I have my professional qualifications as an accountant. I'm a FCPA. I'm also a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Australia and New Zealand. So I don't select one over the other. I've decided to join both camps. So absolutely, that is my profession. But I've now been in academia, or I better not say how long. Really since the late
you don't have to
80s.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have a side hustle? Like, can I ask you to do my tax return?
You can ask.
I'm only joking.
It's so easy these days, Kristy. Everything is so automated that unless you've got very complex business arrangements or personal affairs, it's pretty straightforward to do.
Lazy. I'm so lazy, Keryn.
It's so easy that I think I haven't actually lodged mine.
Yeah.
So this is a friendly reminder from your podcast. Anyone who hasn't done their tax return, recommend doing that as soon as possible.
That's right. There may be a nice little refund waiting for you. So why not get hold of that money rather than the tax office retaining it?
You've just been through your role, Keryn, and it seems really jam-packed. Are you able to talk us through what a typical day looks like for you?
Oh, is there ever such a thing as a typical day?
No.
So let me try a typical week. What's standard in the week? And I suppose what's standard in the week is Monday is always the day then when I meet with the Sobel leadership team informally. Tuesday is the day where I always meet with the department chairs. Wednesday, there's normally always the academic executive group meeting or the higher education group meeting with the senior deputy vice chancellor. Thursdays, there's normally a SAC or a SEC going on. So sort of in between that, you're attending to emails, you're putting out fires, you're celebrating successes, you're dealing with students. So, no such thing as a typical day. Today, I started, as I normally do every day, 5:30. That's my exercise time, my think time, my get your thoughts together time. Normally arrive at 8:30. First thing I do after parking the multi-story car park, go to Cafe Gomez. And actually today, Kristy, I saw you there. And there was a line almost out the door. It was,
I know.
It was terrific.
I love the welcoming committee. You didn't have to do that, Keryn, but it was really nice. Thank you.
It was lovely. And this morning I actually had a bit of luxury of some think time, which often you don't get during the day. So I did some deep thinking about we're refreshing the Bachelor of Business. I attended to those things that you put to the side because sometimes they're a bit too hard. And there I'm dealing about student reviews. And then sort of that morphed into a Vice Chancellor's leadership team meeting, a few more meetings after that. So and then in between, you're approving things on activity, whether that be some travel, whether that be some, appointments of research assistants. So I don't know if that helps describe what a typical day is, but it can be a mixed bag of all different things.
Yeah. And what would you say is the best part about your role, Keryn?
Or the best day you've ever had in your role? I'm just sneaking in to modify that there.
Oh, nice one, Ash.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the best. That's really hard, Ash. My immediate attention turned to a day when you've got no meetings. I think we should have a meeting-free day. And I'd actually like to introduce an email-free day. Imagine if there was a day when we
get stuff done day.
Not have any emails coming into our inbox from internal.
We should put that on Yammer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
See if we can get a poll going on Yammer when we launch this podcast. We should do it. Posing a question.
So that's an example of sort of a best day. But the real best days are when you just have a big win, a big celebration and a celebration that is the hard work and effort that's culminated from staff, that's culminated in something really positive and big. So that would be my best day. And I suppose one of those would be achieving our international accreditation for the business school that we did back in 2018, 2019.
Wow, yes. Yeah, that is a massive win. So you must be extremely proud of that.
And if I may say, another best part about the role is I love the interactions with students. And today was a great day because in between sort of the meetings and thinking time that I described before, what we had done in the last few days is we had sent out emails to the highest achieving student in every unit from semester 1. And, today there are a couple of emails that came back and it just puts a smile on your face.
Oh, so nice.
One student saying, I never expected that I would get an email from a dean. And, although the highest mark is an outstanding achievement, I consider it such a small success. Your meaningful wishes have inspired me. And so to me, that is just so uplifting. And that's what we're here for. We're here because we know the transformative powers of education and the value of research. So, they're the small things that really are the big things that make you think, this is
why we're here.
Unreal. That sounds really awesome. And must have felt like your heart really just swell. So I love those wins. Well done. Changing gears, Keryn. At Swinburne, we have many brilliant female leaders and role models. And I can name a bunch off the top of my head and personally include both of you too. Can you please explain to us what it's like being part of an organisation where many of the leaders are female?
Oh, look, it's terrific. It creates role models. And, if I reflect on my career, I started off in the public service and I was actually in a department of all men. I was the only female. So, the things that you recall at that time, working with all males, and the area was money market. So it was pretty intense. And I can remember I used to have what was called Keros. That was the nickname they gave me, Kero, swear box. So every time they swore, I made them put money into this money box. So sort of I started my career, totally male dominated. I was the only female in this department. So, the evolution that I've seen, and now when we look at Swinburne and we see the executive leadership team and the women that are leading some of those portfolios, I think of business deans across Australia. I'm president of the Australian Business Deans Council, and actually the first female president, despite how long that has been running. That from probably 5 years ago to now, we're almost 50% of deans of business schools in Australia are women. Whereas 5 years ago, that was probably about 20%. So it's just fantastic to see the support structures that exist. I think it's incredibly important for women to be able to see women succeed. Every individual brings their own set of circumstances that sort of make their path different and make their success and their achievements, even more remarkable. So, we at Swinburne value diversity and inclusion, and the efforts that have gone into gender equality are really, demonstrated in outcomes, but there's still things that we need to do and should do.
Mm.
So now we're doing our speed questions.
Yeah, so here we go. Are you ready?
First guess that we're testing out these speed questions taken from ABC 774. The great Virginia Trioli has a guest spot and it's called You Don't Know Me. So we have adapted, also known as totally ripped that off, with a spin for the podcast professionals. And if we ask you the start of a question, if you can finish it off, and we will rip through 7 questions or 7 sentences.
Are you ready, Keryn? Excited?
Well, this is quite a daunting task for someone who I would normally refer to myself as quite a private person. So this might be interesting. Is there a time limit on how long I've got to think about my answer, or
there's actually not.
No, there's not. We'll keep it nice and snappy. But this will be the fast 7 questions, and it would be the best 7 questions of your life. All right.
That is a big call.
Aim high, Ash. All right.
I'm bearing my soul, right?
Yeah, you can make stuff up if you want.
Oh, I'd never do that. You're always found out. Didn't you, tell your children, nieces and nephews, never lie, because it'll always come back to haunt you.
Well, true. We have ripped off the internet that when you lie, your eyes change colour. So presumably, or your ears turn red, as kids will then cover their eyes or ears.
What about your nose grows longer?
Yeah, Pinocchio.
So I am not a fan of Pinocchio. I don't know. I found that whole show annoying. Lion King is probably my all-time favourite Disney movie. Modern ones, Moana and Encanto. I tangented off. Kristy,
did. Yeah, well
question
done.
1.
All right,
go,
Keryn,
go.
You'd never know it, but I
used to breed and show golden retrievers. Would be one of the things that you never know, maybe.
That's awesome. I love that about you.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right, Ash, next question, please.
The fork in the road I almost took was?
Oh, this is a sliding door question. Do you remember
I was thinking those exact words.
Paltrow, where
yeah.
She missed the train and
yes,
therefore, and then got the train, and by getting the train, what happened? She caught her husband or boyfriend
cheating
in a compromising position.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, my the fork in the road I almost took. Well, I actually completed my HSC, as it was then, high school certificate, and I started studying physical education out at Rusden College, which is since now part of Deakin University. So I guess that was the road I almost took. I almost became a physical education teacher, but then I'm sort of one of those students that then dropped out before census date.
Was not for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to do this. So gave it up and went into the workforce.
That is amazing.
All right, next question, Keryn. I always
ring my mother and father every night, as well as my daughter every night.
No,
sometimes it's only a quick chat, a quick hello, but that would be something that I always do.
What about I never?
Oh, what do I never do? I never really go to bed early.
Love it. I love it. It's a great answer.
Well, the one thing that I never try to do is I never try to worry about things that I can't change.
Oh, yeah.
And I said so try true. Because I think innately you tend to, but trying not to, don't worry about things that you can't change. Move on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. As we're moving on to the next question, the time I got something terribly wrong.
Oh, there would be so many of them.
All right, give us your best, Keryn.
Oh, I can't even think of my best. My husband and I we often have bets. we might be watching the football and I bet he's not going to get this goal, and I bet he is. And so probably the bet that went terribly wrong, we were driving home from a function one night and there was a song on the radio, and I was adamant it was Pink. And he said, no, that's not Pink, that's someone. And so this bet became, suddenly $1,000 bet. Well,
oh no!
As soon as we got
escalated
home,
quickly.
I got that terribly wrong because it was not Pink singing that song.
Who was it?
Levine, I think.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's things that I've got much worse wrong than that.
No, I think that's a good one. $1,000 bet. If I had $1,000 bet with my husband, I would be kicking myself possibly for the rest of my life for losing that one. And the next one. Well, these are good.
Yeah.
My secret pleasure or guilty pleasure is.
So probably when we finish this podcast, and it is, getting towards a cup of tea time of an evening, my guilty pleasure is that I normally have licorice bullets every night with a cup of tea. Or if I don't have licorice bullets, my other guilty pleasure is a mini drumstick.
Oh, yeah,
I do love those.
Yeah. Fridge.
My problem is because they're mini.
You can have many of them.
Exactly.
Many minis.
Have no restraint for going back for seconds. I'm with you, Ash.
What about the raspberry licorice bullets with the white chocolate on the outside?
Not as big a fan of them. I think it's got to be the licorice bullets, and it's got to be milk chocolate coated, not dark chocolate.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. All right, our last question in this amazing 7 questions, Keryn, is best holiday ever and next holiday.
Best holiday would be a safari that we did probably about 8 years ago. It was fantastic. The Masai and, stayed at a place called Bush Tops Retreat, and it was just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And, it was the best holiday despite my luggage got lost and I had I had clothes because they lent me clothes, but I had none of my own clothes for the whole safari. So, but it was terrific. Just seeing the animals in that environment, and just things that you never thought you'd experience.
Oh, fantastic!
Amazing.
Yeah, and next holiday.
Next holiday hopefully will be a skiing holiday. We love our snow skiing. So rather than chase the sun, we chase the snow. So
beautiful.
Hopefully that will be my next holiday.
Oh, fantastic. They're really great answers, Keryn. And we hope you enjoy your next holiday, wherever that might be. It sounds absolutely fantastic. So enjoy that. Well, that just about wraps it up. And we would like to thank you, Keryn, for being a part of the podcast and supporting the Swinburne Professional Staff Network. It's absolutely fantastic to have you on board here and to share some of these awesome questions with our listeners.
And you survived the Snappy 7. The first time we did
it.
I'm playing with the name. I don't think Snappy 7 landed.
I feel like I'm going to be walking around campus and people will be saying, oh, she's the one that, she's the one that. But look, thank you so much for having me. And, I want to just use this opportunity to call out to all the professional staff, do a wonderful job, and Swinburne needs that wonderful combination of professional staff working with academic staff to make things happen. And the academic side of things would not occur without the professional staff. And this network is just fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Such great, kind words. Well, Ash, we totally nailed that yet again. It was great to have Keryn on the podcast, and that means we only have one more pod to go before the end of season 2, which will be our Christmas special with SPSN President Nicola Howard.
If I had some jingle bells, I would jingle them.
Oh, look, don't worry, we've got access to the Adobe sounds.
We do.
Yeah, I can chuck that in.
Excellent.
So why don't we keep up with the tradition, Ash, and can you please give us a score out of 10, please?
15 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, love it.
I'm just leveling up this business, and it's been so long since we did a podcast. Keryn, it has been fantastic to have you on. So the overscoring has absolutely had to level up along with that.
Okay. Thank you all for listening to the Podcast Professionals with Kristy and Ash. It's been another excellent episode. Until next time, see you later. Bye from me.
Bye.
Bye.